In a world that constantly demands more from us, more speed, more success, more attention, it's no surprise that peace often feels like a luxury rather than a natural state of being. Most people spend their days reacting to stress, to expectations, to other people's moods, without ever realizing that true peace is not something you find outside, but something you cultivate within. Psychology shows us that our minds are not fixed, they are highly adaptable. The way we think, interpret situations, and respond to challenges directly shapes our emotional state. Yet very few people are ever taught how to consciously design a peaceful mind. Instead, they fall into patterns of overthinking, comparison, and emotional reactivity. But what if peace wasn't about escaping life's problems? What if it was about changing the way your mind interacts with those problems? In this video, you're going to learn 3 powerful, psychology-backed ways to master the art of being peaceful. These are not vague ideas or temporary hacks. They are practical mental shifts that can rewire how you experience life, so that calmness becomes your default, not your exception. Let's begin. 1. Reframe your thoughts instead of fighting them. One of the biggest misconceptions about peace is that you need to eliminate negative thoughts. In reality, trying to suppress thoughts often makes them stronger. This is known in psychology as the rebound effect, where resisting a thought actually increases its intensity. Instead of fighting your thoughts, learn to reframe them. Reframing means consciously changing the way you interpret a situation. For example, instead of thinking, everything is going wrong, you can shift to, this is a challenging moment, but I can handle it step by step. This subtle shift changes how your brain processes stress. When you reframe, you move from a threat mindset to a problem-solving mindset. Your brain reduces the stress response and activates areas responsible for reasoning and control. Peace comes not from having perfect circumstances, but from having flexible thinking. When you stop believing every thought you have and start questioning them, you create space between you and your emotions, and that space is where peace begins. 2. Train your attention like a muscle. Your attention is one of the most powerful tools you have, yet most people let it wander uncontrollably. It jumps from worry about the future to regret about the past, rarely staying in the present moment. Psychology teaches us that what you focus on grows stronger in your experience. If your attention is constantly on problems, your mind will feel overwhelmed. If it is trained to return to the present, your mind becomes calmer and more stable. Think of attention like a muscle. The more you practice directing it, simple practices like focusing on your breath, noticing your surroundings, or fully engaging in a single task can dramatically reduce mental noise. When your attention is grounded in the present, you are no longer trapped in imagined scenarios. You begin to experience life as it is, not as your mind exaggerates it to be. This reduces anxiety and creates a natural sense of peace. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to become less reactive and more centered. Instead of being pulled in every direction, your mind learns to stay steady, even in chaos. 3. Detach your identity from external outcomes. A major source of inner disturbance comes from tying your self-worth to external results, success, approval, recognition, or validation. When your identity depends on things you cannot fully control, your peace becomes fragile. Psychology emphasizes the importance of internal validation, valuing yourself based on your efforts, values, and intentions, rather than outcomes. When you shift your identity inward, you reduce the emotional highs and lows caused by external events. For example, instead of defining yourself by whether you succeed or fail, you define yourself by how you show up, your consistency, your honesty, your growth. This creates a stable sense of self that is not easily shaken. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop letting outcomes control your emotional state. You still work hard, set goals, and pursue success, but your peace no longer depends on the result. This shift creates emotional resilience. You become less reactive to praise and criticism, less anxious about the future, and more grounded in who you are.